Live. Hey, happy Wednesday, folks. How is everybody doing? We've got a few in here already off the hop, eh? What does this button say? It says plus engage with your audience. Okay. Hey, doing decently. Good to hear. Happy Wednesday. Sorry I missed last week, but I was actually shooting for the channel. So I was going to live stream it, but decided not to. We were doing some more press play, which I already released one of. But yeah, how is everyone's Wednesday? What's up? Speaking of, hey, Wednesday, how's it going? We got the usuals in here to start. Wednesday, the CC's the 3rd. Yeah, how says Woo, I've never been this early to a stream. Well, welcome. It's awesome. Looks like we've got I'll Make You Uncomfortable in here under his new news channel. Go subscribe. But yeah, I've just come off of like a marathon edit for a work project that I've been working on. One of my like big projects of the year, but I finished it off and I'm done. Well, I mean, they're going to have some revision notes probably, but I'm almost done. And then I'm turning full attention over to the channel for the next little while and giving it a real push. I've got an episode coming out on Friday on Dahmer. I'm doing another one of these press plays reaction videos where I talk about an interview. We're going to talk about Bundy, which I have in the thumbnail and in the title of this video. We're going to talk about that because of all the debate going on in the comment section on that video. We'll get to it once we get some more people in. You sound like me. Work. Oh, yeah. I mean, I have like a few major projects that I do yearly that is for a stretch of time. It's like insane, but then I'm like pretty good, you know? Let's see. Rookie of the Year YouTuber. Funky butt loving. If you know what I mean. That's a quote from Rookie of the Year, which is a movie that I saw for my birthday when I turned 8, I think, is when it came out. Can't remember what year is Rookie. No, I might have been older. Rookie of the Year, maybe it was 9. I think it was 93. Anyways. Hey, brother, really enjoy your content. Thank you. Prison is my playground. Hey, and I've seen a lot of your comments. You always end them with hope you're having a good day, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate the comments. I've responded to a few of yours, I believe, but I appreciate that big time. Adam says, just found your channel last night. Hey, man, welcome. That's great. I mean, I've had a lot of people finding it in the last like 6 months after being up for 3 years with nobody finding it. So it's been nice to have new faces come in and join. What do you think of it so far? What video, let me ask, what video was it that you found or found you, let's say? I'm just curious how the algorithm's kind of going, you know? Maddie, what's up? Hiya, Josh and Cornflakes. What's up, War Wounds with the Kramer? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. I'm with that guy. With the kid from American Pie. You got it. That's in Rookie of the Year. Daniel Stern, too, actually, right? And Nick Nolte, I think? Or is it Gary Busey? No, it's Nick Nolte. Maybe it is Gary Busey. It is Gary Busey. Plays the pitcher. Oh, the Bundy video. Okay. Oh, wait. That's yesterday's news saying that. Buttered sausage. I love TED Talks. Amstel is the one who I keep saying is, I think, a covert Eric, Cameraman Eric's covert account on YouTube, because their comments always, Cameraman Eric rocks. And you either got to be high or actually Cameraman Eric himself to say such ludicrous things. I kid. Your channel is so good. It doesn't feel exploitative unlike other true crime channels. And I love the humor. Hopefully, you reach 100K subscribers soon. Yeah, we were cruising along. I thought I was going to hit 100K like in February. And then it kind of like the subscriber rate really died off, but the video views have still been like doing pretty well. So it's technically, I mean, they always say subscribers is a vanity metric and it's more important the views you get on your videos. But, I'd like to hit that 100K for sure. Fox McCloud just gave me $5. Wow. Thank you. You should check out Marcel Petiot. He's a serial enthusiast during World War II. Real scummy dude. I will. And he gave me $5 to go with it. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can donate live in the chat if you'd like. You can also join the channel now. We haven't had our first members live yet, but that's coming very, very soon once I get all these work things off of my plate, which is this week. Yeah, there's a bunch. It's $3.99. I think it costs to join the channel. That gets you early releases of videos. It gets you some exclusive videos, and it gets you some exclusive lives. And since there's fewer members, I think we got 20 something members right now. Since there's fewer, that's like a really intimate, let's say, that's a kind of a weird word to use, but you know what I mean, chat experience. So feel free to join the channel, no pressure. Ever seen the infamous TED Talk from the Columbine shooter's mother? Ooh, no, I have not, but that sounds very interesting, actually. I should watch it. Yeah. Oh, speaking of early release, I'm releasing early tomorrow. I'll be releasing Press Play, the Bundy episode. So if you join the channel tonight during this live, you'll have a video to watch tomorrow ahead of everyone else. And we just had Insomnium Tale join. So welcome to the Cornflakes. That's what we call the members, the Cornflakes. And guess what? You know what? That was a name suggested by none other than Wednesday, one of the original channel supporters. I love how Bundy and Dobson were both trying to use each other, says Thomas Collins. Okay, let's get into the Bundy discussion. And Thomas, thank you so much for that $5. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so the Bundy interview, let's talk about that. I'm assuming most people that are in the chat right now have had the opportunity to watch that video. It came out last Friday. And it's a weird one. It's his final interview. It's only like 14 hours or something like that before his execution, right? There's a lot of people who think that it was like a last-ditch effort to try to win some leniency. And as Thomas said, there's a lot of people who think it's two guys manipulating, trying to use each other to further their own kind of interests, right? Dobson was using Bundy to connect his anti kind of porn agenda, if you want to call it that, and he used that tape all like crazy after for their foundation and for pushing that. And then Bundy was said to some people thought he's talking to these the Christians. Maybe he's got some political pull, as sometimes those guys, I think about Billy Graham, right? He had political pull for sure, stuff like that, that maybe he could get, if he started talking in that way, that he could get a last minute stay of execution. I really do think that time the phone rings, it's like this. I mean, that's silly to kind of think that I actually that the phone would be right there in that room, but it does feel like that moment where he thinks something stupid like that. Fox McCloud sent another $5. Wow. He said she should check out Roy DeMeo. Also, he crosses that line between doing it for money and doing it for pleasure. It goes well with your previous subject. So I read his book, or not his book, his son's book. It's called Sins of My Father or something like that. I think I have it on the shelf right over there. I'm going to look. It's very good. Let's see. I definitely have it. I have another one here. It's called, there's a lot of people fearing their fathers. But no, I don't have it right here, right now, I don't think. What is this one, actually? I also have a book by Stalin's daughter that I'm interested to read. But anyways, yeah, I read the book. I remember all the stuff about the Gemini Lounge in Brooklyn. I've actually been there, or where it was. You got the twins that were murdering people. Yeah, Murder Inc. It's a wild, wild, wild story. I'm just catching up on some comments. I loved how you cut when his eyes pointed. Yeah, when his eyes cut to the phone. Yeah. Bundy should have blamed his father/grandfather, not porn and beer for his victims. Yeah, the father/grandfather thing. That's a thing too, right? We've seen that on. I read that a bunch. I forgot to mention it for some reason. But yeah, in the video. But I had read that. It's apparently there was DNA testing done to say that that's not the case. But I mean, who knows? Hey, Simon, welcome. Welcome to the Cornflakes official. Make it official. What should we do? Remember we were going to do the Heaven's Gate haircuts or the Rex Heuermann haircuts? I still think that's a hilarious idea. Hey, we got another one. Are you kidding me? M. Jack, welcome to the channel. Hey, guys, I really appreciate everybody joining up like that. It's, it goes a long way. I mean, I am in the current works right now. There's of doing my first potential brand sponsor. And I'd love to get to a spot where I just had enough members and I didn't even have to do any sponsorships and interrupt the middle of my videos. But in the meantime, that would be the dream. I mean, when I worked at Hacksmith there for all those years, like that was our goal kind of, was to like just have so many members on the channel that we didn't have to do brand sponsorships and poison the videos all the time. When you have it, it's a lot easier to have a lot of members when you have 12 million subs, 15, 20 million subs like we did. But yeah. Do you think you'll still be the cool cat you are now when you have 5 million subs? Absolutely. The whole plan of it, thanks for calling me a cool cat. The whole plan and the whole point of the way I kind of started this channel, the point was that I could do something that would never require more than like me, cameraman Eric, my brother, and maybe one other editor at some point to help, or like thumbnail person. But I never want to grow the channel into this massive like corporation thing where I have like 20 employees and it's like Linus Tech Tips, but with serial killers. Like it's the whole point was to keep it simple like that. So I never had to get like that. I love making films and stuff. So we're going to work as that channel gets bigger. Eric and I will be able to spend more time together. Because right now, Eric and I only get together to work on the channel together like once every couple of months, 3 months. I work on the channel almost every day, if not every day. But Eric just joins here and there to shoot, right? Now I want to get to a spot where the channel's full time and there's enough coming in where I can pay Eric and then we can make amazing stuff. Believe me, if we're working on it full time and Eric's available to shoot with me all the time, it'd just be amazing. See, this Amstel thing says who plays guitar better, you or Eric. And he's like purposely misspelling his name because he's trying to throw me off the scent that it's actually Eric in the chat. And then he's asking me a triggering question like who plays guitar better, you or Eric. I would have to say Eric probably plays guitar better than me. I don't play it often anymore. I bet you there was a time where I played it better than Eric, but it would have been like, I don't know, when I was like 20. Uh, what's next to come, Maddie? Thank you for the $4.99. Your videos are amazing. Appreciate all your effort. What's next to come? Well, next up on the channel, we have, like I said, early release tomorrow for members, the Dahmer Press Play Inside Edition interview. And then that video comes out publicly Friday. And then after that, I have a video on the history of true crime going back to ancient Rome. Following that, I've got Bonnie and Clyde. I've got, there's other stuff I've got more True Detective magazine episodes coming. And then we're hitting back into some, where did all the serial killers go? I've got some new theories to explore. Insomnium Tale said, hey, gave me £6. Wow, amazing. Thank you. It's like $12. They're like $10. I had a weird thought. Have you considered doing an episode of potential serial killers who got stopped in time? Yes, I have. Now, that's part of the thing I wanted to talk with like when we get the Discord going, once we get to 100K. And that would be a channel where I can ask questions of people and you guys can all like fill me in with stuff, because like that's a really good one. Like Brian Kohlberger stands out to me, right? As somebody who fits into that category. But it's hard to like, it's kind of hard to just like, you know how long it would take me to research enough of cases of people who got busted, but it would be definitely a topic I've thought about doing. Amstel says the cornflakes are growing. They are. The bowl's getting full. Sorry for so many requests. It's just that I find it interesting, the line that gets blurred often between doing it for money and doing it for pleasure. No, yeah. Here's the thing. Like I haven't worked a day in my like even in my like professional life. Like I'm a film school guy. I wanted to make movies since I was like 10. I started editing when I was 11 or 12. Like I kept saying, this is my 30th anniversary of editing. And I love doing it. Now, of course, the dream is to earn money doing what it is that you love, and I have been doing that. But I mean, now in the corporate world to an extent, doing like commercial work and stuff, it's not as fulfilling. I still enjoy it very much, but to be able to do this and earn money doing this would be just a dream come true for me, right? Like I'm just making stuff that I love and think is funny and good and interesting or dark or whatever, putting it out there, and like that would be amazing. Yesterday's news gave me $5. Thank you so much. Said couch video ideas. Norway's 90s black metal scene, specifically the band Mayhem, with the murder, suicide, serial church arsons that it entailed. Yeah, he killed someone with a long sword. Yeah, as you know, if you've been around here, I lived in Norway for a number of years, so I'm well versed. Interestingly enough, the Norway black metal scene is, I worked in a record store in Oslo for like, I forget, 2 years while I was there. And the black metal scene, no one ever purchased black metal in Norway. Everyone thinks, oh, Norway, they're all about black metal. I talked to so many people about it when I lived there, and they would say like, nah, it's an export. Nobody in Norway really listens to it. They export it. So I thought that was super interesting. Funny story. One quick story about working in a record store in Oslo. One day I was working with another guy in the record store, and he left to go, I forget, like go to the washroom or something. And it was a slow store for the most part, most of the time. This customer comes in, I go over, I'm like, hey, you need a hand with anything? And I forget if he said yeah or nay, can't remember. Talk to him for like a minute, go back behind the counter. And then all of a sudden my guy comes in, back in, and he walks over, and all of a sudden, before the guy comes back, I look over and all of a sudden this guy who I just talked to is standing there and he's like signing autographs for like somebody or something. Like, oh, this must be someone. And a few minutes later, the guy comes back from the washroom that I work with and he goes, holy shit, that's Morton Harkett. And I was like, oh, crazy. I never knew what he looked like. He's uh, take on me, I'll be there wherever to. So he just randomly came into the story. He's their Norwegian band, Aha, right? But I didn't know what he looked like. So I helped him for a couple minutes and didn't ask him for any autographs. Phil, yes, Bundy was always like, how dare people judge me? He was a prick. Yeah, because he's got that. He's better than everyone. He's a narcissist, right? Just saw your community post about this live stream saying you don't look like Ted. I thought I was the only one who noticed the resemblance, so I never commented on it. I guess I wasn't, unfortunately. See, I don't look like Bundy, like especially with my hat on, I guess. But yeah, it's been a few people commented that. But you know the funny thing about having a channel like this, even with a smaller audience like this, the amount of comments I get a comment like once a day with somebody's like, you look like so and so, and I'll look, I don't know who it is. I look it up and I'm like, weird. Somebody said I looked like some football player yesterday, and I looked him up and I was like, doesn't look anything like me. I got this a bunch of times. They said I look like this guy from that show. Oh fuck, I can't remember the name of the show. Supernatural or something. It was like the same guy several times. I'd never heard of him. And I also didn't think so. I'm surprised with all the skit channels and the true crime channels, no one ever tried to do recreations with actors. Like we get used with unsolved mysteries. Yeah. I mean, it would be, there'd be pushback on that, I think. Recreations of those. Brian Kohlberger's a BTK wannabe loser. Absolutely, he is. Now, imagine being a BTK wannabe. Fucking loser, right? Like, I want to be the biggest loser in the world. How's May been? My G? May's been good. May Day. I mean, like I said, I'm in over my head with like finishing a couple of projects for work, but I'm almost done. I had a call with the client like an hour before this. They're very happy. Just a few changes. There are some content creators that were almost school unalivers. I guess, luckily, if they get stopped young, they just go on to be normal oddballs. I feel like there's so many of those guys that, like, I'm no psychologist, I've said it 1,000 times, but it seems that in a lot of cases, if some of these, same with like people who unfortunately delete themselves, where it's just like, it's like that whole like it gets better thing. Like, come on, it's really tragic. Like, you know, in a few years, everything could be so different. Yeah, the David stuff has me in a freaking chokehold right now. Of course it does. Wednesday knows him. I think the only time real Ted showed up was during that quick look where he was terrifying. Yeah, so let's talk about that look. We're all talking about that look where the interviewer, Dobson's a scumbag too, by the way. He asks him about the young girl, unfortunately, that was like his last victim, just 12. But, oof. And he says he doesn't want to, he can't talk, doesn't want to talk, can't talk about that. Too painful, he says. But then he has his head down, he has this look where he's just like, and it's a scary look. And it's like, ooh, that's a terrifying moment. And there was a lot of debate or a lot of comments about that look in on the video. And, you know, I'm watching it in real time and I'm purposely not pre-watching them and like taking notes just because I kind of want it to be as authentic and as like off the cuff as possible for these particular videos, since my other stuff is scripted. So, you know, I'll say stuff and then like I'm editing it and a whole other thought comes, but that's the point. And then that other thought usually gets voiced in the comments. So it's interesting. And a couple people said that that look and that moment when he says that he doesn't want to talk about it isn't clearly, it's not because it's too painful, but it was because he knew there was nothing he could say, no way he could twist that around, even blaming porn, blaming whatever, nothing that can win any sort of sympathy, no way for him to angle it. You know what I mean? Because it's so deplorable by everyone's standard. I mean, everything he did was, but especially that maybe. So he was like, he couldn't talk about it because he didn't want it reminded to anyone when he's maybe pleading for his life and one last chance, right? I think that makes a lot of sense. To me, it did. So whoever made those comments, can't remember now, but yeah, Duke22 says, "Hey, I love your content." Hey, Duke, thank you. Love that comment. Who's your favorite serial killer? You hang around here long enough, you know that's one question I can't stand. I'm just kidding. But it's like one of those things where I don't have a favorite. I think what people usually mean, and probably what you mean, Duke, is who do I find the most interesting? Favorite's weird because it's just like, yeah, like they're not baseball players. I'm a baseball guy, right? So it's like, I guess it would be like most interesting. I usually say the one that got me interested in the first place is Dahmer, and I don't know why. I think it was like I've said this on a lot of lives because of those A&E biography channel episodes, because of those true crime docs in the mid '90s, right? And he was big news right around then. It's kind of, I think for a lot of people, if not most people, he's in the general public, he's probably like the first name that comes to mind for a lot of people. I bet if you were to go on the street, I just go name a serial killer, guy on the street with a mic, I bet you get 7 out of 10 answers would be Dahmer. That would be my guess. Abracadoochie, $3.99. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Are you? Oh, that's your first super. It says, let's celebrate. Everybody thank her. Thank you. Are you? I can't remember if you're a member. It's okay if you're not. I'm not saying become one, but asterisks don't work to make things bolded. Oh, mine is don't. There you go, Duke. I read that after I said it. Being compared to an actor is always a compliment. You think I look famous? Thank you. LOL. Is it weird that I have a crush on BTK's daughter? She added me on Instagram, right? Talked about that. She added me, and like I immediately was like, I gotta see if I can get her to come and be on a Guess Who episode with me. And then I immediately went and made all of my videos on BTK private. So I was like, she'll go on the channel and see them, and like, well, say what you will, which it's her dad, right? So it was like, I tear him to pieces on there. So, but anyways, hey, Trans Ben Shapiro. Hey, glad I could finally join a live for once. Haven't you been in these before? I thought you have, but welcome, man. Welcome. Good to have you. Me and my friends have an inside joke that Bundy was framed and how the evidence just happened to look super bad for him. Explain that more. You're right, Wednesday. He probably was annoyed that the guy brought it up. Maybe they even said like, hey, don't bring that up. I don't want to talk about that ahead of the interview. Sent you $4 in ALMS. I don't know what that means. For the amazing Bundy reaction. I saved it as a treat to watch after finals, and it did not disappoint. Well, thank you. I got another one coming out, a Dahmer one. I shot them back to back, but it's coming out Friday. Thoughts on Dr. Death? Are you talking about Harold Shipman? Because I have a whole video on him. And I actually talk about him coming up in this video that comes out this week or on Friday. Just briefly, but he comes up in it. Hello, love from Wisconsin. Hey, so you can answer this question for me. So I was, it's in the video that comes out in like 2 days. talking about Dahmer saying that he thinks he deserves the death penalty. Was Wisconsin a death penalty state, or was it? I mean, Canada, we don't have it, period. But was it is it a death penalty state, Wisconsin? Because I didn't know, because he's saying, like, if he thinks he deserves it and he actually wanted it, and what does he have to do to get it? So maybe it wasn't. Hello, Wisconsin. I don't know why, but with Jeff, I always feel like I can smell his apartment stench while I'm watching him. Oops, I got here late. Well, better late than never, Leslie. How you doing? Sorry about your company doing so bad, Ben. What company's doing bad? Where did I miss it? Just watched the Ted Bundy Killer Drip episode the other day because my friend, I loved Killer Drip, man. I wish friggin' Demetrius would come back and do some more with me. Maybe I'll have to find another fashion YouTuber. I had a blast, and I love that he came. Demetrius drove from the United States. He lived basically like in Michigan, so it's not far. Like, I think it was like a 3-hour drive to get to where I am, and we shot for a day. But I had earmarked that guy years ago. Way before I had the channel, I came across one of his videos, and he's a very talented content creator and filmmaker. He did fashion videos, and he had this video on Steve McQueen called The King of Cool or whatever, right? And it was so good. I was like, I want to do something with this guy. I don't know what, but maybe I'll help him with his channel or do something. But just some point, I want to do something. And then I got this channel going, and I was like, I wonder if I could get him in on that somehow. And I emailed him, and he responded, and then we got it going from there. ALMS, our religious charity dispensed with sarcasm. Fox McCloud, another $5. Wow, thank you so much. Check out Gerard John Schaefer interview. He's a cop serial killer. It's a wild thing to be, huh? Imagine being a cop serial killer. Like, you're like, you know what? The stakes aren't high enough with killing civilians. I'm going to target specifically police officers. We got 70 people in the chat right now. Let's go. Everybody hit that like quick. Heart it up. Let's go. I'm going to heart it myself. I never do. But yeah, I'll make you uncomfortable. Are you still here? Virginia was a death penalty state when I was growing up, but I think there's a moratorium. Okay. Oh, news. I chatted. Somebody in the comments on the Bundy video said that this other channel had released a video on that fairly recently. And it was this woman who is really into language. She's a teacher, and she's really into words, specific words people use. I have a meeting with her this week, and we're going to work on something together. So I'm excited. She's going to join me for a live, I think. We'll see. We got to talk. But, like, that's the plan. I also reached out to a former member of Heaven's Gate who's like pretty active and doesn't have a large following. So, like, I don't know, maybe they'll be interested to chat with me. I don't know if they would like hate the video that I made on Heaven's Gate or like it. It's hard to say. It's not like I go out and like bash them too much, you know? Yeah, Demetrius is likable. Do you have any specific inspiration for your video style and structure? It's been so good off the rip. So what do you mean? Which type? Which structure? Which type of video? Because I have a few. Believe it or not, the void stuff I just came up with. I wanted to do something where I felt like I had like projected image, this look that looked like kind of like I was projecting, but not projecting. And I wanted myself in the shot, and I didn't want to just do something behind me. So I came up with this idea to put me in the corner and then use this huge expanse behind me and beside me. And then I have an idea, same for something. Same with the times I use the floor. I'll have an idea and I'll say, Eric, what do you think of this? Like, let's try this. And then we'll mess around with it for a while until, and then I'll take it out, do a couple test shots. I'll take it out. I'll throw it in the computer. I'll play around with it. Yeah, this is going to work. Okay, let's lock that in and shoot, Couch stuff was from day one. I spent like 4 or 5 months, probably, and maybe even 6, like planning the channel before I released. So I designed all my boxes. I found the location. I did the logo. I did a couple photo shoots, all this stuff. Like, yeah. Just a suggestion, but I think it would be super cool if you analyzed fictional killers and drew parallels with real killers like Dexter, Jack Torrance. Analysis would be super interesting from you. Yeah, we've talked about doing that a bunch. Like, I've often thought of doing Hannibal Lecter. I even thought of doing guys like Darth Vader, like couch episodes, but I'm not sure. We'll see. There's so much lore, but I do like the idea. Again, it's like I got to get to a point where I'm full time so that I can like get out in front. I feel like when I'm having to work on the channel like I am now, I'm always like kind of up against it. So I don't have like a ton of time to like, I do from time to time like come up with new concepts and like really flesh something out before I do it. But yeah, like book club's taking me forever, right? Stephen Lorenzo, he was a killer who asked for the death penalty and got his wish. Oh, I'll have to check that out. April Fool's idea. Thank you for another $5. Amazing. April Fool's idea. An in-universe couch video about the serial killer from season 5 of The Wire. Oh, god damn. I gotta watch The Wire. I mean, I keep starting it, and for some reason, I can't get past episode 1 or 2. And I know I will love it. And I even, you know what? I worked with a guy from The Wire, was in a couple of my films, actually. Do you know, if you're a big Wire fan, do you know the guy who played all I know is his character name was Detective Hawley. I've seen like a couple clips of him, but I've never watched The Wire. But that guy who played Detective Hawley was in 2 of my short films. Wasn't Joseph D'Angelo a cop while also being a serial killer, and Kemper wanted to be a cop? Yes, that is true. Kemper wanting to be a cop is one of my favorite things. Kemper will say in interviews, he's like, yeah, I got rejected from being a cop because I was too tall. It's like, they said I was too tall. It's like, maybe they were like, oh, this guy killed his grandparents when he was 16. Disqualified. Yeah, no, it's because you're tall, Ed. Yeah, it's because you're tall. I throw a question out there. Steph, are you in the chat today? Curious. There's a website, former Jim Jones followers, where you could probably find people to contact. Yeah, link it. I think the resemblance of Ted comes from the shape of your nose. You have the same as him. Oh, thank you. It's because I have a large nose. And D'Angelo was a cop, yes. We do any content on John Bunting? I know the name. I can't remember why. Sorry, there's so many, right? Interesting correlation between serial killers and armed forces. I believe he's mentioned it before. Yes, I have. I have a whole video on it. If you look down, like, I don't know, 20 videos ago, maybe, something like that. There's one, it's like Dahmer in a general's suit, and it says, I want you. And it's more about like, oh man, that video, the comment section used to piss me off so much. It didn't piss me off, but I felt like so many people missed the point. It wasn't that. And same with the true crime episode that I made, is true crime train killers. The point is not that watching true crime makes people killers. The point is can watching true crime give you further ideas if you're already inclined that way. And same with the military thing. It wasn't that the military is creating killers or that people are in the, it was that what is it about the military that attracts people who have that in them already? Because something like it was like 25% or more of serial killers had military service. It wasn't that the military made them serial killers. That's a huge number, right? But it was like, what about the military? And it's not shooting people and blah, blah, blah. But what is it about the military that attracts that type of person? There was something, and they do well a lot of times. And there was something that was interesting about that was that there are certain aspects of the military that it's like it's a perfect spot for people with certain personality defects because it's almost things that are encouraged by the military. It's like there's a fine line between like, like if you're out in the real world, not that it's not the real world, but like certain personality traits are viewed as problematic that within the military are encouraged, right? Being able like, and it's and for a reason that is kind of necessary to an extent in the military. It's not necessarily bad, but these guys can go untreated longer and get away with it, and it doesn't come up because it works in that environment. I'm not explaining it well. I apologize. $7.99 from Triple Leg Greg. It always, your name before I go any further reminds me so much. I had a character in one of my films called Chicken Leg Greg, and it always reminds me of that. He was like one of the main guys. But he says for $7.99, says, in this modern world, which Western country do you think a serial killer would most likely thrive? Oh, I mean, the United States. Of course. Is that a question? You guys got a monopoly if that's where you're from, Greg. Do you guys think about that video that I want to do where I go into the idea behind that Dahmer stole a mannequin from a department store? I don't never understand how he did that. Like, imagine trying to do that. Like, if you went into Walmart and just tried to walk out with a mannequin. What? I wanted to do a video where I try to steal a mannequin from a store, but I want to make the video kind of like the one I did with Chill Fortnite Vibes. I want to make it in the style of Ocean's 11 with a crack team where I get all these specialists together that all have different talents. And then I use them in a way to create this plan where I'm going to do a heist and steal a mannequin. And then once I get it, it's like, well, now what? Doesn't even have an asshole. What percentage of serial douchebags you think actually get caught? Who knows? I mean, that's like, who knows? There's that question like at the beginning of the Ed Kemper interview that I did where the guy asks him, how many others like you do you think are out there? And Ed's like, it's a lot. It's got to be more than 300 or something. It's like, where are you getting this number from, Ed? Like, just because you are one? It's like because I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm in quilt. How many quilters are out there? I don't know. Like, even that, there's groups of them. You can at least figure it out. But something private like that, how are you going to figure that out? It's a stupid question. The answer, though, is probably like a lot, I bet. But that's the best I could say. Have you ever watched any Israel Keys interviews, confessions? They are the most frustrating things to see. Small town sheriff messed up all the interviews with him. I've seen some of them from when I did the thing. Yeah, they're all in that one room, right? Guy's such a tool. I think he stole it piece by piece. I feel like I read that somewhere. So like one day it's like all that's left is just the left leg of a mannequin in the store. No one noticed and was like, hey, get this off the floor. The pants aren't staying up. He hid in the changing booth until closing time. Still. Like, have you ever seen that? He watched too much HBO in the 80s and saw the movie Mannequin. If you're Canadian, I always like to think about if you're Canadian in here, hopefully there's a few. Today's Special, remember that show? Filmed in the Eaton Center in Toronto after hours about Jeff the Mannequin. The guy's name was Jeff the Mannequin. It always reminds me of that. Have you seen that Bundy movie with Elijah Woods called is it called No Man of God? Or I have seen it, yo. Yes, it is good. Again, Wednesday says I really hope you do that video someday. I will once the channel's full time. So there's that statistic that shows that there's a large amount of psychopaths work on Wall Street. But the thing is, does the job require you to be a psychopath in order to succeed? Yeah, so I mean, there's other jobs like that. They say a lot of CEOs, a lot of surgeons. I get the surgeon thing because, like, a lack of like empathy to an extent, you can't be just falling apart every time you lose somebody. You can't perform your job properly. I think watching true crime kind of saved my life. After breaking up with my ex-boyfriend, asked to see me one last time. At that time, I remembered how so many women got called or kidnapped on that. Yeah, be careful. What's your body count? Yeah. Which one? One last date because the guy snapped and my ex got very dark side. Yeah, but it's weird even to ask. Like, you break up and you're like, let's have one last date. What's the point? Doesn't make any sense, you know? Adrian asking the real questions. Oh my God, I remember that show. They played it in the US too. Did they Wednesday? Yeah, look it up. There's a dude on YouTube called Spawn Ranch where that collects Manson stuff and was like a groundskeeper for Spawn Ranch. You guys should do a stream together. I feel like I might know him or have seen his stuff. Didn't the mannequin come to life after? Yeah, Wednesday, totally. The mannequin would come to life and they put a hat on him, like fucking Frosty the Snowman. And it was in a department store, and there was a couple other puppets and stuff, and then a woman named Jody. Triple Leg Greg gave me $2.99 and said, favorite true crime podcast? It's a little show. It's called Breakfast Cereal. I don't have time to watch other or listen to other true crime podcasts anymore because I'm making mine. And then when I'm not making mine, I don't want to be watching more. You know? Mannequin was filmed in Philly. I have the movie. A lot of politicians as well. Yeah. Vicky's here. Hey, Cornflakes. Hi. That's what happened with David. Wednesday, quit talking about your boyfriend. When does Dahmer versus Gacy 2 release? When we make it for the channel. I should. I totally should. What time is it? 9:49. Let's go till 10. Maybe a little bit after. Where can you listen to the podcast? I don't have this as a podcast. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe some of you, but I don't think my thing works without the visual because I'm such a film oriented person that a lot of times what I say, you need the visual to make sense of it, especially a lot of some of the humor, because sometimes I'll be saying something and the joke is what I'm showing. It's not what I'm saying. So you would miss a lot, I think, if you were just listening to me. Maybe some of the Where'd All the Serial Killer stuff go would work as audio only. Definitely couch episodes, I don't think would work at all, personally. Hannibal, the movie, was partially filmed in Richmond, Virginia. It's the sole reason I don't completely hate it. I've always liked Hannibal for some reason. Wait, Ridley Scott, I think. I mean, Ridley Scott is a weird director, man. He's got some of the best movies, and then he's got so many clunkers too. But he's one of my favorites. I mean, frick. I mean, he gave us Alien, so he's a hero. Gladiator, Blade Runner, Ridley Scott. Like, guy was on fire for a while. How did everyone like the last episode? I thought it was awesome. Yeah, we got another one just like it coming out for members tomorrow, Vicky, and then Friday it'll be released to public, but tomorrow it'll be out for everybody or for the members. $5 again from Thomas. Wait, when it shows up like that, does that mean you're giving me $5 each time, or does that just mean you gave me $5 once, and then it shows like that for the rest of the chat? I'm not that I'm saying. I'm just curious. I'm not sure how it works. But thank you very much, regardless. Either way, who would you interview on the channel if given the chance? I want a BTK's daughter. I actually had a meeting with Gacy's lawyer once. We had a Google chat, and I talked, and she was down. She was his like appeals lawyer. She was with him to the end. So I mean, I might reach back out to her now that the channel's doing even better, and maybe I'll just fly her out. She's only from Chicago. It's not that far. I drove to Chicago in a half day. Like it's like I forget, 8-9 hours. Not even. Maybe I can't remember. It's not that far. I drove there on New Year's Day once. The day after New Year's, January 2nd, maybe it was. No, I think it was January 1st that we left. Would you count the mafia hitmen dudes as serial killers? Some of them had high body counts. Did you watch my video on King Von? Because I talk about that a lot in there. Most of the time, no, because body count isn't a factor. You could kill 100 people and you're not a serial killer. You know, like there's more to it. And if you want to know what more to it is, go watch. And the thing about the Vaughn thing, I'm going to go back to it because like people kept saying, well, yeah, Vaughn definitely enjoyed it. He loved it. It doesn't matter. Every single one of his things was like motivated from external factors. This person disrespected him. Every one of them, they did something to him to earn it in his eyes. They gave him a reason in his eyes, right? Nobody did anything to Dahmer. Nobody did anything to BTK. It was all internal from them. And they were picking people at random to satisfy something inside. They didn't do anything to like earn it, right? Whereas with everyone with Vaughn, it was they did something to somebody, or he thought they did something, they said something, they did this to him, they blah, blah, blah. That's not serial killer behavior. That's multiple murderer behavior for sure. That's terrible person behavior for sure. Are you able or willing to give any insight on what full-time breakfast cereal production would look like? Or what tier content maybe in addition to what we've already seen? Just curious because there's obviously a finite number of serial killers. I would say that full-time breakfast cereal production would just be, I would do a lot more videos like I did on Bobbit, on Chill Fortnite Vibes. I would do the book club. I would do a lot more of these like Bronson Part 2, where I get the entire rugby team somewhere to try to tackle guys covered in butter. Like all of these just bigger productions in the sense of like right now I do everything. It's like where else it's me on a chair. It's a very controlled environment. I know how to edit that stuff. They take a long time to edit still, but we can get a lot done in one day. We can shoot a lot in one day. Now, if I was full time, I could shoot things, and Eric was full time. We could justify like spending 4 days shooting for one episode, kind of. You know what I mean? Like doing these more elaborate things, not necessarily more complicated, but more elaborate and more, I just think, better in a lot of ways. If that makes sense. It's not about like how many finite number of serial killers there are, because I have ideas. I have a list of ideas that are as long as my arm, and I got long arms, that I would love to do, you know. Pamela is here. Hey, welcome, Pamela. Hey there, happy to catch you live. You made it. You're always commenting afterwards, like, I'm here. It's like, no, it's over. You should do an interview with BTK. Yeah, of course I should. Actually, you know what? I just talked to the psychologist that I did that episode with, Rachel Tolles, Dr. Rachel Tolles. I was texting with her the other day, and she said that she had correspondence with him. And I was like over about what? Leotards? And she said, no, for her book. I'd really love to see you do an interview with Sawyer from Heaven's Gate. Now, I forget the name of the person Wednesday, but somebody messaged it on one of the latest videos, said you should contact this guy. And I did. The name was, let me see. I'm just looking for the comment. Damn you, monkeys. Oh, here it is. It is Sawyer. So I messaged Sawyer to try to, I couldn't find an email address or anything. I just commented on his latest short, said, hey, I'd love to chat with you for my channel. Come, here's my email address, get in touch. And like the Heaven's Gate, I said I did a video on Heaven's Gate and I couldn't wrap my brain around it. Maybe you can help me understand. We'll see. Have you done a video about the Iceman? I have an entire full-length episode on Richard Kuklinski, and it's earmarked. I've got it ready to go, a react video on one of his long interviews, but it's very long. But if you go back in the channel, there's episodes way back. It's like episode 12, so you got to go back like 2.5 years or more, or something like that. But it's there. It's probably called, let me see. I'll tell you what it's called. Somebody find it and link for us. Who wants to be the hero? Who wants to be a hero? To say that a hero. You know the crazy thing about the Iceman was that story with Mr. Frosty. Are you guys familiar? He was the guy, an ice cream guy who was apparently a serial killer. The episode is called Mafia Hitman and Mr. Softy Killed Together. If you search that, it'll come up. About what? Leotards? He did an episode on Chikatilo and Iceman. Have you ever heard of Bernie Tidy? No, I have not. Hey, that's my name, Bronson. Yeah. Have you done a video about Iceman? Yes, we just talked about that. Have you ever heard of Chikatilo? Yes. Sorry, Wednesday was answering that. Yes, I have a Chikatilo episode. I like the Chikatilo episodes. Good. The Russian episodes are always fun because of Russia. Fred and Rose West come up in an episode that I have coming out on Bonnie and Clyde, but just very briefly. And yes, there's definitely somebody that will come eventually. I've done a few British things. I mean, Bronson's not a serial killer, but I've done Bronson. I did Broadmoor. I did Shipman. I did the Black Panther from UK, Britain. I haven't done Nilsson. Everyone wants me to do Nilsson. Commenting about an email. It won't get it flagged from me because I have a large subscriber base. Normally it's okay. I have sympathy with Ed Gein because he was batshit crazy. I don't think he understood what he was doing was wrong. How's also Eileen Wuornos to a degree. She did know, but I can understand her rage. Here's the thing. Ed Gein knew what it was wrong. Yes, he was disturbed. And yes, he was mentally unwell. Um, doesn't mean he didn't know it was wrong. Eileen, um, she did know, but I understand her rage. I disagree to an extent. I think it's unfair to give her a pass. Um, yes, she was abused, but in a lot of cases, those particular men that she killed, they hadn't done anything other than try to have her as a client or try to, you know, I think maybe Richard Mallory, she said, did, but for the most part, she was shooting them to steal money from them. Yes, she was abused earlier in life, but so is every single one of the male serial killers, right? She was horrifically abused. Look at Gary Ridgway. Look at like most of them sexually abused. Not Otis, Henry Lee Lucas, all those guys, right? And we're not saying, well, I understand their rage, it's okay. So it's like Eileen was crazy. Sorry, that's insane, mentally unwell in the end, for certain. And you see those last interviews with her, they're disturbing because she is clearly mentally unwell and not fit to be executed. Right? Just, yeah, it's tragedy for sure. But I mean, we could go on. Comment, I know you're going to joke about this because you say I know everyone, but his girlfriend was a photographer in Phoenix and now she ran away with Sawyer and cut her hair like a Heaven's Gate person. Yeah, I saw her on there. Eh? Crazy. Welcome, 77 people. Hey, let's see. Let's get a few more members to join up. $3.99. That's a good deal. Early release videos, exclusive hangouts. I won't have to do ads on my videos. But you can join the channel down below. Carl Panzram, done a video. And actually, look at this. Speaking of Panzram, right there, baby. This is the first book for the book club. It's called, you gotta love the title, Butchering Humanity. Oh, that sounds like a good, nice read. Page turner. Can't wait. Tales of Sodomy? Ooh. I have lived 36 years in this world and soon expect to leave it. All that I leave behind me is smoke, death, desolation, and damnation. Ooh. Hold on. Let's what a guy. Good night, Abra. Good night. I think Gein is one of the rail killers who was A, sympathetic to a degree, and B, not faking the insanity. What's coming down the pipeline? We got a Dahmer episode coming out tomorrow. For members, early release to members tomorrow. Jeffrey Dahmer's interview on Inside Edition, followed by public release later on. We've got History of True Crime, talking about frickin' ancient Rome's obsession with true crime. All the way through to today. Like I joke in the video that I'm going to trace its roots, but I'm not going back to that original crime of that snake in the garden. But yeah, essentially caveman fucking wall paintings and shit, cave paintings, but not going that far. But yeah, and then I got Bonnie and Clyde, and then we've got some more Where'd All the Serial Killers Go stuff coming out, including a very controversial topic on whether or not abortion has a role to play. The availability of abortion and eliminating serial killers, because people have the ability who aren't fit and ready to be parents to abort. That's a theory that's out there. How's that? That's wild. Yeah, the Garth Brooks thing. Yeah, that's a video I got to do for April Fool's next year, probably. I think you did an episode on the British killer Jack the Ripper. Yeah, Jack the Ripper is one of my favorite episodes. It's a great episode. You should go back and watch it. I make a comparison where I say that I found him myself, and it's the guy who invented the lawnmower. Fair point. It's not saying it's okay, but someone should have helped her way before it got to that point. Sure. And I mean, again, you could say that about any single one of them, right? You could say that about Dahmer. Someone should have helped him with his weird fantasies and all that years before. Like his dad tried. His dad begged that judge to keep him in jail at one point, right? They let him out. The only ones I have sympathy for are the truly insane ones. I forget his name, but he was the vampire killer in California. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember either, but yeah. I do think subscribing is worth it. Thanks, Wednesday. I appreciate it. Richard Chase. There you go. Hey, bud, time for a haircut. Better be a Blue Jays hat on. It's not. Believe it or not, this is a original 1987 World Series hat. It's a pretty sweet hat, though. So it's not technically a team, but the Jays definitely weren't in the World Series in '87. This is an original hat from that time, though. I'm not getting a haircut. I'm growing it out a bit. The fade is dead, my friends. You heard it here first. The fade haircut, dead. Who knows? I'll probably give up soon. That dude was nuts. On Bundy blaming Prawn made me think of Alessandro Serenelli, a man who killed 11, partially blamed print and mass media. And that was in 1902. Yeah, it's always been a thing. I always love a Dahmer episode, LOL. People were like, why do you, like a while back, like, I don't know, 6 months ago, why do you so many of your thumbnails, it's always Dahmer? Because I was doing ones just on serial killers and surveillance, and I'd use Dahmer in like a camera. That was because every time I'd use a Dahmer thumbnail, the video would perform way better. Because it was like immediate, there's not a face that you could put on a thumbnail that screams serial killer faster to more people than Dahmer, right? It's how it is. Yeah, even Bundy, like, no. Ed Kemper, absolutely not. Would you ever do a video where you watch Iceman's interviews or no? Because he was Wednesday. I just said, yeah, I'm doing that. I already have it. Eric and I started that one, so it's just they're really long. So like it might be like a 2-hour long video from me. Dare I? Genetic engineering via abortion? No, not exactly. That abortion thing was in the book Freakonomics. Yeah. Hey, Wednesday, it's uncomfortable. When you consider doing an app on British serial killer Dennis Nilsen, yeah, I just talked about that, right? The similarities to Dahmer are quite jarring. He did several chilling interviews. I got to look at his interviews. Yeah, we've always talked about doing Nilsen, I know. Yeah, at some point probably. I don't know when the next time I'm going to do an individual serial killer episode, especially on the couch. I don't know. The couch is kind of shifting into this more into what I've been doing on the couch lately. Like the Clark Olofsson episode, by the way, who saw that one? On Stockholm Syndrome, again, one of my new favorites. Like, love it. Like, I got to use I swear by the moon and the stars in the sky. Got to use that song. Got to use You're Still the One by Shania Twain. Like, great episode, man. I made it back for a minute. You ever thought about doing an episode with / or around any of the surviving adult children of the infamous serial killers? Yeah, I have done that. I did an episode about that, about the family of serial killers. It's called My Dad is a Serial Killer or something like that. It's mainly about BTK's family, but other people too come into it. And she followed me on Instagram, and I'd absolutely love to interview her, but I doubt she's going to want to talk to me. No, the DNA solving the Jack the Ripper case, no, that comes up every like 2 months. Like, they solved it. It's like, no, I didn't. Same as Zodiac, right? There's always somebody who says, oh, the DNA is solved. You think eventually it will, but no. Your hair will fall out. No, I'll never go bald, man. Still no wrenches yet, eh? I don't know what that means. Wait, DNA salt. No. Jack poses the question, can a murder ever be saved? Do you mean a murderer ever be saved? Or do you mean a murderer? Clarify, please. Great couch episode. Yeah, me too. I thought it was amazing. Belle Guinness. Yeah, I talked about her for sure. Does Belle Guinness have a book? Guinness. Belle Guinness. Is that who you mean? Like the female serial killer nurse lady? She was in my episode about where did all the female serial killers go. But does she have a book? Let me know. Watched it Sunday. Thought it was great. Thank you. Did you have to pay to use the songs? Yes, I did. There's a website called Lickd, Lickd, that actually has like a lot of famous music available for licensing for YouTube and other purposes for a decent price. Because like it used to be that if you wanted a song like that, it would literally cost you like thousands of dollars, right? Thousands of dollars to get a license. But Lickd, you can get a monthly subscription to Lickd for like 20 something bucks, which I have, and then like you get a certain amount of credits, I think it is, and then it's like for the premium songs, it's an extra like $8. That's it. It's amazing. That's where some of your little donations go towards, by the way. It's stuff like that. Like each episode costs me more money than it makes because I buy assets for it because I get overexcited. I'm like, oh, but I gotta get that. You know, it's too cool not to use it. Stuff like that. I'm out. I'm gonna go play with myself. Thank you. I started getting into true crime out of nowhere a while ago, and I still feel like it's wrong that I enjoy true crime content. I don't think it's wrong, obviously. Do you think Chill Fortnite Vibes is a serial killer? Guy's never even heard of Popeye's chicken. The Syndrome video was good. I didn't know the origin of it. Yeah, well, who knew it took place in Stockholm, right? Yes, she did write one. Oh, I'll have to look at it. So the book club idea, just so you know, I'll spoil it, is like it's not a real book club. It's basically the first episode is me and 3 women who are like 70 years old. And I make them just read terrible passages from the book, blindsided, and we're in like a 90s living room. What about that guy that said the Zodiac was his grandfather? Yeah, good for him. Like, I mean, you know, my grandfather was a Zodiac. It's like, no, I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus. Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. Black Dahlia, too. They are always claiming to have solved the case, and it was a doctor. Serial killers. I see. Whoa. We don't want to know. Especially if they're called Lickd. Recently found your channel and have loved watching all your videos. Hope everyone is doing good. Hey, thank you, Reese Harrington. Let me ask you, which video was it that you saw first or that got like put in front of you, if you will, by the mysterious algorithm, or what episode brought you in? Curious. Let me know. Yeah, I'm going to head out of here and we got about 5 minutes to go. I have a Rifkin episode 4, episode 5 on the channel. Way early. I do edit myself, Don Philly. I'm a filmmaker, baby. Do everything myself. Well, no, Eric shoots. I edit. My brother writes. I write. Depending on the episodes. I've edited every single piece of content that's on this channel. No one has ever touched an edit. I'm starting to let somebody do some shorts for me out of my long form stuff. There's an interview video with Ted Bundy's brother. Interesting to watch. Yeah, I've seen parts of that. Killers who are children would be a difficult subject to approach. Yeah, I don't know. The dude was an ex-con who advocated for prisoners and redemption, then went on to be a serial killer. Let's talk about post-butt clarity. I don't know what you're talking about Wednesday. That's not my thing. Wednesday just outed herself. That's hilarious. For me, it was the breakfast cereal videos. Okay, the couch stuff. That's awesome. The couch stuff's what I started the channel with. And for almost 3 years, it did no views, really. And then all of a sudden, I started doing the Weird Al the Serial Killer stuff. And those did really well. And then the couch videos finally got some traction. It was your video going over Ted Bundy's final. Oh no, that's not a breakfast cereal episode. That's a reaction episode. That's a press play, I call it. Okay, yeah. That's like the latest episode. So the newest, I got another one like that coming out tomorrow, actually, or Friday. But I've done a bunch of different stuff. Miranda Wrights makes it in. Watching while making supper. A quick hi and bye, my fellow cornflakes. Hi, Miranda. Bye, Miranda. Yeah, the Bobbit video was too hilarious to not keep watching until I watched all the videos. All of them are great. Thanks. Bobbit's still my favorite video of all time, I think. Just because it's like the experiments and like the scientist who joins me. And yeah. I always wanted to do, like I said, I want to do a expert panel with a bunch of people who aren't experts. Where did you source the last meals lists? You just Google it. Like, you Google last meals, famous serial killers or crazy last meals, and just there's a bunch of different articles. There's books on it. Yeah, that's exactly how I engaged where all the serial killers go. Yeah. And the rest from checking out the channel. Yeah. I made my mom watch the Bobbit one. LOL. We made jokes about Bobbit in school. Everyone did. I remember this song that people would do, that would sing, and they would go, it's like when The Lion King was popular too. It was around the same time that it happened, right? So that song In the Jungle was popular again all of a sudden by the Nylons, but they did it in The Lion King, remember? And then they did it for Bobbit, and they would go, a weenie chop, 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 a weenie chop. Very, very creative stuff. Okay, folks, we're going to give it one more minute. Smoke them if you got them. Hit that like button, please. Donate to the channel if you feel so inclined. If not, of course, not a problem. Join the channel if you feel so inclined. Become a cornflake, $3.99. You can join up and then hang out with us on smaller group scale and watch our video earlies and all that kind of stuff. I'm new to your channel. Have you done anything about the Grim Reaper? No, I have not. Not yet. But welcome, Daniel. You said Ted did make a scene on his execution. Can you tell us? Well, as far as I understand, he was like just hysterical when they were like trying to like shave him and like get him ready and then take him down like the last walk and all that stuff, and was like really just bawling his eyes out and all that. Thanks for the entertainment, homie. You're welcome. 3:18 a.m. The Grim Sleeper, I know that guy for sure. No, I haven't done anything on him though. Some can join for free for the first month. I don't know what that means. Smoke what? Hee. Wacky tobacco. There's a strange thing that happens when you try to make the serial killers or any historical villain into this genius, and their reality, they're kind of idiots. Yep, most of them are. They have to shave everyone's head who's going to the electric chair. Weirdly enough, because that's like the conductor thing goes on your head, and they don't want hair in the way. Pretty crazy, right? I mean, pretty terrifying shit. I love your videos. Thank you, Mimi. Appreciate it. We're just ending it up right now. But yeah. So just to recap, tomorrow, new video for members of the channel. It'll be out for everybody else later on. Dahmer episode tomorrow drops for the members, and it'll be out for everybody else for the weekend. Okay, folks. Appreciate you joining tonight. Have a good rest of your week. I'll see you next week live, and I'll see you in between in the comment section on the new video. Take care.